now that we have ability to create our new textures, I want to go ahead and implement a couple more options that I have for this HDA. First of all, I want to clean up these work items so that these work item previews will be a lot more representative of the final output of the HDA. So I basically want to go ahead and partition these work items into the new folders, and then these folders would be displayed as a work item before cook of these nodes. So you could imagine that before the cook, we could basically say generate static work items, and then we would be able to see the folder that would be created in all of the outputs before the actual cooking. So we could basically preview and see if this is something that we want to cook. So this is definitely what I want to go ahead and implement. So in this ROP fetch, I want to start by setting the setting tags for the new files. So actually we can continue creating this network without actually cooking. So you could go ahead and test out your cook, and if it cooks, that's fine. But to continue this network creation, I'm actually going to go ahead and press on just generate node. So generate node is going to basically predict the output file from this cook, and it basically says that expected output is my new texture, and basically it says where it's expected to render out. So this doesn't mean it's going to render out 100%, but since we have set it all up, it should basically render out everywhere, every time, and this is the expected output that we can go ahead and reference further down the network without actually baking without cooking this top network. And you can see that I have this exclamation mark because I actually set kind of like a worst case scenario for the cook of these textures so that I can handle that, and then any easier case will be solved automatically. But this is a worst case scenario when we have a duplicate texture files, and basically this means that multiple work items, same items list the same file as their expected output. That means that the work items would be overwritten, and this happens when we have a same common name between multiple directories, and we have not clicked ensure unique directory name. So I'm going to show what I'm actually cooking. I'm cooking these two texture sets, and I basically just went ahead and copied the same texture set inside two different directories. Same texture set inside two different directories, and the naming is basically the same texture set. And I am outputting it inside this custom folder, and this is my output. You can see that I have only 3 textures, which is basically one texture set. Only one texture from here. That is because the naming is the same, and it's basically going to take and rewrite the older work items with the new texture sets. So basically half of these are not valid work items. This could be rendered out. So I want to handle this case scenario. But before that, I want to put down a Python script. I want to start by adding by setting tags to my output files. So right now I have this generic file image tag. I actually want to go ahead and get my basically I want to go ahead and get the new texture rendered out texture name and use my regular expression from the Python module and run it and use it as a string to match against my regular expression, and basically get the type of this texture from there. So what I want to do is go ahead and start by importing regular expression. Actually, I'm going to open this up in external editor. So I want to import regular expression. I want to go get my Python module. I want to get the attribute file name. So the file name should be the file name is basically the attribute that we created, which is going to be the name of the file, which is basically the end name, file name that's going to be rendered out. And then I want to basically use my regular expression from the Python module. Digital file name re.match, Python module re.match and file name. And from that, I want to get my file name group type. And then what I can do is go ahead and output file, parent type. I want to get the expected output file. So now I have to use the expected output file because of this ROP node, because it's from my testing it won't work if we say that output file. We have to use an expected output file. And then use the path, get the string attribute, and all I have to do is go ahead and add the expected output file from my output file, and then add its type that I got from the group. And if you go ahead and generate this node, you will see the tag has been updated, and I have my expected output file set up also. And you can go ahead and see all these types has been updated. So also this means that it is preferable to not to use the texture names inside here with the underscores, because our regular expression will match the type as the last underscore. So that would mean that the types would not be correct match if we have underscores in the names of these textures. And now I want to go ahead and partition these textures. Partition by attribute, and I want to partition by destination directory. So I have destination directory name, that paste inside here and generate the node. So this should make only one because we have only one directory. You can see everything here is expected outputs are all bundled together, but there is duplicate for every one of these. You can see these are all duplicates. So I want to get rid of these duplicate items. So this is where the Python script node comes in handy. So another Python script. Let's open this up in external editor. So inside here, I want to, from the collections, import default dictionary. Inside here, I want to create a new default dictionary. I'm going to call basically unique outputs, and I'm going to hold this set data. So the sets inside Python cannot hold the duplicate values. So this is ideal for us, because we're basically going to try to add every texture, but it's not going to add any duplicates, because sets does not allow any duplicate values. So now I want to go ahead and create fill this unique output default dictionary set, and I'm using the using list comprehension. And inside here let me write this also, clear any duplicates. So inside here what I'm doing is getting all the expected output files from the parent item. So this could be basically all of these items. I'm getting the list of all of these, and I am so this is PDG file, and I am getting its path, PDG file.path. And from the unique outputs directories, I am using this PDG files tag as a key, and then I try to add PDG file this path. And basically it's going to in this case I have I have a tag, same tag basically for the I have same tag 2 times for the same path. So that means the first time it will add this one, and then it's going to try to add it the second time, and since it's already the same string is already in the set, it's going to ignore the second try to add it. And now that we have removed any duplicates, we can go ahead and add these paths back to the output files. This is basically done through we are looping through all the keys from our default dictionary. We get the unique outputs for every key, and then we can just go ahead, work item, add expected output files, and then we have to convert our output set back to list, because this function expects a list, and then use the tag as its output also tag, and that's pretty much it. And if you take a look, if you go ahead and generate this node, we should basically have only 3 work items, and we have removed any duplicate work items, and we have still our tags inside here. And one thing that I didn't do in this partition by attribute, in these merge attributes, I want to go ahead and add plus sign, and I want to merge also use all the unique values of the set directory. If you go ahead and generate this node, you will see that this set directory is going to now point to the 2 paths, and these 2 paths is basically the place where we have sourced our work item, both folders we have sourced our textures from. You can see it is pointing to the both of these. So in the best case scenario, we would point only to one folder, so that all of our source textures would be from the same directory. But in this worst case scenario, we have two directories, and this is done and I want to keep this information because I have, for my HDA, I have ability to go ahead and copy all the unmatched files inside the new directory. So that means that if I have a different files in both of these folders, I want to have an ability to copy, let's say, these two JSON files to my new fallen leaves directory that I created, that HDA created. So I want to basically get my 2 JSON files inside here. So this is why I'm going to get the unique values of the source directories, of the set directory. And remember, set directory is set way up here at the very beginning of the HDA, when we basically set the set directory is where every file is located. So the set directory was, let me cook this. Set directory is path to that, basically the directory where the texture is located. So now these work items are cleaned up, and these are good for the previewing the output of this HDA. So what I want to do is put down the switch node, and I also want to switch between the ability for me to copy unmatched files. So this is where I want to go ahead and check for the parameter copy unmatched files. So let me open the parameter copy unmatched files. Okay, the reference works. So if I do not want, so this is going to be input 1, input 0, and then this one is going to be another network. But for that, I want to clean this up. So what I want to do is let's generate this node. So I want to basically give a user a good preview of what's going to be cooked out, but all of these attributes are probably a little bit too much and a little bit too unnecessary. So I'm going to want to keep only a couple of attributes that are important. So put down an attribute delete. Inside here you can use an attribute pattern, and in this pattern I use the delete everything except for destination directory name and destination root directory. Generate the node. It should look something like this. You can see it's just giving the basic information where the root directory and destination directory name and all the expected outputs inside here. And to make sure that this works when you try from the HDA UI, put down your output node inside here. Let's go to our HDA. We can dirty all, and then we can go ahead and generate static work items. As you can see, I have only one work item, and this work items is a good approximation what I can expect from the HDA when I actually go ahead and cook the output node. So I'm actually really happy about this view. It's not all that busy and a lot nicer. Now I want to go ahead and implement the ability to copy the unmatched files into the new textures and directories. So I'm going to start by putting down a partition expand, and I'm going to select from my Python basically everything that we did for the cleanup just before the switch. It's going to be handle the logic for the getting the unmatched files. So inside here I want to apply extension based on upstream attribute. And so basically this is going to this requires us to give an array attribute that's going to be split into different work items. And luckily we have our set directory attribute. So just go ahead and copy this. And in source attribute you can go ahead and copy this, paste inside, and if you generate it, it's going to create a new work items from the expand value. So basically you see our set directory attribute still exists, but for each one of these work items we have a expand value attribute, which is expand value. You can see it has basically went ahead and created two work items from the set directory attribute. And what I want to do is, since I'm not interested in the set directory attribute anymore, I'm going to put the set directory value attribute also the same. So this is going to get rid of the new attribute. I'm just going to override the set directory array attribute like that. And now I want to go ahead and put down the file pattern. And I basically just want to go ahead and get all the files inside the set directory. So inside here, p at set directory. So backticks, closed backticks, /* generate the node. You can see we have basically gotten all the files from those directories, those two directories. Now that we have all the files, we want to make sure that we select only the ones that are not matched by the HDA node upstream. So that means we have to go ahead and copy our Python processor node where we created our work item by extension function. Just copy this and paste it inside here. And since we created option to invert the selection, for the invert, put down a true. And this should basically generate the node. You will see that it has basically created only work items for the two. We have only two work items, and this corresponds to the two JSON files in each one of these directories. That's very nice. And now I want to go ahead and copy these files. Put down a file copy. Inside here, I want to make sure that this file source is going to be upstream output file. And then I want to give it a file tag. So file tag should be automatically generated by by the so this should be like a from the file pattern node going to be automatically tags, and we just want to use the expression function PDG. That's going to be PDG input tag, and we have to give it an index, and that's going to be 0 because we have only one work item. We have only one work. We can only have, because we have only one input file per work item. If you click on it, you will see it's going to reference the tag for those files. Then we want to copy to directory, and then copy to directory we want to copy to p at destination root directory. And then / p at destination directory name. And if you click, you should get your path. And to check out if it works, you can basically go ahead and cook this node. If we successfully cook, let's take a look at our output directory. You can see we have copied these two JSON files inside the output file. And now I want to make sure that if this option is selected, I want to represent it also in the output of the HDA as a preview. So what you can do is put down a partition by attribute. I want to basically get these copied files, select this, and I want to partition by destination directory name. And if you go ahead and generate the node, you'll see we have created new work items. Basically, we have combined, we have partition, and the only thing that I'm really interested is basically in the expected output. You can see we have added both of these JSON files as an expected output for this option. And then I just select it into the switch inside here. Let's go back to the HDA and let's generate static work items. You can see we have 3 outputs, and if we have copy unmatched files, generate static item again, you can see now we have 5 items as expected outputs. So that's basically it for the copying the files, unmatched files. So I'm going to clean this up, going to make some boxes around to explain a little bit better in the final HDA, but that's pretty much it for the copying of files.